Hello and welcome to episode 94 of the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to talk about Malifaux's brand new Errata. Welcome back to the Critical Twits, where I've just been informed that the Errata isn't brand new anymore, is it?
It's the latest one.
It's not
really brand new.
No. But what we thought we'd do is come in a little bit later than everyone else, because we've actually played some games rather than just talking about it in a theory way. A bit of practical experience.
Yes.
Yes! Glad you're coming with me on this, guys. I'm Brian Ennis, and I play Guild, Neverborn and Outcasts.
And I'm Aaron Ravinsky, and I play 10 Funders and Gremlins. Don't interrupt me, Joe. Learn your place.
And I'm Joe Lewin, and I play Arcanasts. Arcanasts.
Arcanasts!
Yes.
The Arcanasts!
They're a new faction.
Jason and the Arcanasts.
At least it's not Arcanists.
Oh,
I don't like that.
Ow.
Yeah. No, I play Arcanists, and I have recently started playing Resurrectionists as well.
Excellent. So we're covering all the factions.
Between us.
Yes, we have assembled...
We don't need other friends anymore.
We've assembled an elite crack crew. So we're going to talk about the recent Errata, the 2018 Errata, if you're listening far in the future, in a different time zone or something similar. So, yeah, what we thought we'd do is we're going to go through each faction in turn. We're not going to talk about every model and be here for 2.5 hours. That would be madness. No one would ever do that on a podcast. So we thought we'd pick out the highlights, the best models, and kind of try and chat about why we think things have changed and whether we think these are good changes, bad changes, etc, etc. But first of all, Joe is going to run us through exactly why this Errata was like different and shit.
I was, yeah. We had this discussion before we started recording.
Was that nice and smooth and professional?
Yeah, it's very good.
Excellent, thank you.
So this Errata is different to the ones that we'd have had in the past. In the past, they have turned around and gone, oh, this model's a bit too good or not quite good enough, and so they've changed abilities, they've changed the numbers in abilities, like the melee scores, the shoot scores, that kind of stuff. They've errated in suits onto the abilities. Like Ironsides, for example, is a great example of that. She had a tome errated in, so she could always trigger her, I'm going to punch you in the face if you melee me.
Yes.
Because before you had to trigger it and it was crap. So little things like that have really boosted models, have been really good. Now, what they've done this time is they've, quite sensibly I think, gone, bollocks to that, we're just going to adjust cost. So you don't really need new cards, because it's only your soulstone cost. To be honest, I have no problem getting a permanent marker and writing on my cards if it's just a soulstone cost change.
No,
you wouldn't do it?
No.
Why?
I don't know, it just makes it feel dirty.
Alright.
But if I put it in the sleeve and put the number on the top of it, and leave that sleeve forever. Yeah.
So I suppose you could permanent marker it on the thing. Yeah, well, the app's another interesting thing, because we're going to be going slightly off topic with this, but the app itself is really good because they can do whatever erratas they want and it's on the app.
Yeah. But it's not on the cards.
It's not on the cards, but then the question becomes: does the app replace the cards?
There's been a lot of discussion at the moment. No.
At the moment, no, and
in official tournament rules,
no. Now, well, yes, but no. Yes, but not completely. This is the problem I have, right?
You can't see this at home, but I've just gone cross-eyed.
Okay,
in all three of my eyes.
I will explain what I mean. So, what you had is the comparison I always make with this is War Room for War Machine that we've all seen and used. I used exclusively when playing War Machine because I could mark everything on the app and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you can do that with the Malifaux app. You can do all of your stuff on the app. But Weird have said, no, you have to have a visual representation on the tabletop, be it a marked card or a dice or something next to a model.
Which is perfectly reasonable. Completely understand where they're coming from with that.
It is. But then
what's the point in the app?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's great for tracking stuff.
Yeah.
But then if I don't have my cards, people have said before, I don't want to pass my tablet across the table because don't play with people that are likely to lick the...
Well, there's a
you
little
can
bit
go
of
to
that.
a tournament, you don't know how licky the people are at a tournament.
That's true. There's always a risk.
I love sucking on people's phones at tournaments.
I have a theory that at a tournament, the people at the very bottom of the tournament list will probably be quite licky. Colin, for instance, he's quite a licky man. He's at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I also think that maybe as you get to the top, maybe those people will also be a bit licky as well.
Sort of a domination thing. At
Yeah,
that
I
time,
think.
And a desperate attempt to dominate.
I think they might lick it to claim it as their own, put it in their pocket and fuck off with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've played in Games Workshop stores before. That does happen.
Yes. I partly recommend not licking anything you find in a Games Workshop store, whether it be a product or a customer.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I mean, with the app, pass it across all fine and good, but you're always calling for somebody to show you stuff. So I'd be able to go, that model's got half its movement,
Now,
sitting across the table is a lot easier with the cards. So
my argument with that is that you can import your opponent's crew into your app, so you can see all their cards.
And I really like that because quite
So do
often
I.
I'll be going, I'm going to try and murder that model and I need to know what it can do.
Yeah,
And then I have to go, Joe, pass me Joss's card. And you're like, oh,
He's trying to murder Joss.
Yes.
As always, because that's what you do.
I don't like him. As Colin said last week, he's
Now, what War Room did, if I remember correctly, is you could make a lobby, and the other person joined it.
So somebody does something on one, their app, the other person's app
Yes.
is updated. Yeah.
Now, if we do that,
Perfect.
bollocks to you, I'm not using dice or anything. You can sod off. I'm doing everything on the app.
But it does assume that everybody's going to be
This is
using
true.
the app.
This is true. So it becomes a weird situation, and to be
Hey,
honest,
puns.
it is up to Weird to sort out what they're doing with that.
Yeah.
Because Privateer turned around and went, "This is legal. People can do it. Deal with it," and that's fine.
And we'd have gone, it's not legal at the moment, but you have to track the
yeah.
wound somewhere else. They've kind of made a decision.
They kind of have. I mean, what part of me would be tempted to do is to laminate a A4 sheet with dots and names on and go, oh, that's taken 4 wounds, ... and just have that there. So you can go, there you go, that's what everything's wound count is. And then use all the stats and stuff off the app.
Yeah, and you're less likely to do what I do, which is every time you turn a card over to read an ability, you smear the wounds and heal all your models.
With your panic sweat.
Well, no.
Yes. I'm not a sweaty... Well,
no,
I can
but
be a
the
sweaty
last
man.
time we played, every time I handed you a card, you put your thumb over the wounds I'd marked. So I'd go, take the card back, put the wounds back on, put the card down.
Yeah.
So
That's overly generous. I'd have just gone, cool, he's fully healed. Sorted.
I like to play at a more elite level where I require some kind of handicap to hinder my genius. I have been looking... I've just got Nelly.
Yeah.
Elephant in the room. All right, I'll pack my trunk. Fuck the barrier.
Jeez.
To the circus with you, Brian.
So I've been looking... her and her thematic models, the models in her box, have loads of abilities and like loads of text and triggers for every suit and stuff like that. And at the moment on my phone, I can't scroll and actually read what some of that does. No. So until the app is smooth and working for everyone properly, it's still early days.
And you're allowed to bring photocopies of cards, which you can add things to. And stuff like that, so.
Just get them tattooed on a child's face.
Yeah.
And bring them with you. That'd be really good if you were playing Hamlin or Leviticus or other people that abuse children. Okay, so let's have a look then. We will go through the different factions in the order that they are listed on here. Is it alphabetical?
Alphabetical.
It is alphabetical.
Yeah.
So the Arcanists, Joe!
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us which models have changed?
Yeah, so the Ice Golem, the Hawkcat Pride, the Captain, the Slate Ridge Mauler, the Razor Spine Rattler and Kojo have all been changed. And the Patron's Blessing upgrade has changed.
All by -1 Soulstone, apart from Kojo, who now is -2 Soulstone. So how much does Kojo?
He is now 6 Soulstones and worth it.
That's a good monkey.
He's a very good monkey for 6 because he was a shit monkey for 8.
Yeah.
He wasn't worth 8. There were
I've called people shit monkeys before, just like casually.
He just wasn't worth it for 8 points. Or 8 Soulstones. Now, the rest of them, the Captain getting dropped down by 1. The Captain's kind of been dropped by 2.
Yes, because Patron's Blessing is
a Captain-only upgrade, and that's also gone down.
Right.
So, for the same cost he was before, he now can have the Patron's Blessing upgrade, not have to pay 2 Soulstones for it, and gets casting expert, so he gets an extra AP to cast.
Yeah,
Right.
the captain is
Ironsides. Well done for pretending to know. Ironside's henchman. He's very pushy and has a relic hammer. Yeah, the rest of it, the ice golem, you don't really buy them anyway. They're a bit cheaper now. They're only 9, but you summon them with Raspy now, so I don't think many people.
And her summoning doesn't work off of cost,
no,
so it isn't
it's
any easier.
like they knew it was coming.
Yes.
Hawkcat Prides are now really good for their cost again. Slate Ridge Mauler has always been okay.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the big bear. It's just a big tanky bear.
Okay.
That's now a bit cheaper. And the Razor Spine Rattler might get included now for 6 as well.
Yeah.
In Marcus, but probably nothing else.
I think the big important change is the captain, if you like him, and Kojo.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Kojo.
Kojo is awesome for 6 points.
Kojo's a really good control piece.
Yeah.
In schemey stuff, yes.
I've played against you using Kojo a long time ago now.
When I started with Marcus and didn't have anything better for 8 points.
He has, is it some kind of challenge that he does where he controls an area and you can't do shit near him?
No, he can push models away.
Yeah.
And he can also clear scheme markers within a sizable distance.
That's the thing, yeah.
So he's really good now for 6 points.
Yeah.
He will be seen in a lot of Marcus lists. He might even make it into non-Marcus lists. Ooh. Yeah, I think he's that good for 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the same as an Ice Dancer now.
Yeah.
So whereas Ice Dancers are really good at achieving schemes, he's really good at denying them. So he might play into some stuff.
Yeah. So Arcanist had the least changes.
They did, and no nerfs. No cuddles for their models.
Oh.
Yeah, they've all just got a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah.
Which is slightly worrying for us because we generally consider Arcanists to be very good in our local meta, if you like, our local game. But maybe that's just because you play them, Joe, and you're quite good at games. Don't swell up either of your heads. Remain flaccid. Not that you've got a flaccid skull. What the fuck am I saying? So
well, interestingly enough, though, across all the changes, 10 models have had an increase.
Yes.
Across every single faction.
Yeah. And there are 55 models that changed.
Something like that. So there's not many
No.
that have gone up.
Yeah. So moving on then to Gremlins. Gremlins have lots and lots of changes.
Yes. Yep. The Whiskey Golem, the Moon Shinobi, the Wild Boar, Survivor, Mancha Roger.
Mancha.
Okay. Mechanized Pork Chop, the Bayou Bushwhackers, Raphael Lacroix.
LaCroix.
I don't know. I can't
LaCroix.
pronounce words. That's how I'm pronouncing it.
So they're all minus ones?
Minus ones. Bert Jebsen, McTavish and Francois Lacroix.
Lacroix,
are all +1 now.
Yeah.
And Running Tab, which an upgrade is now -1.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these models weren't massively expensive in the first place.
That's the thing with Gremlins, isn't it? They're cheap as chips anyway.
Yeah. The Wild Boar surprised me that going down in price. It was...
I think the Wild Boar's quite good. How many points is a Wild Boar?
Originally it was 6.
So they're 5.
They're 5 points now. They work better if you've got loads of them, so you've got a bit more flexibility to have
so you want to
free.
spam them a little bit. Yeah.
I think the thing with the Wild Boar is that it's a good model and it can put out a lot of damage.
But it can also die very easily.
But it can also charge your own models and eat them?
Yes.
Because it has a trigger on its attack where it must charge a legal target.
Which also
and you have to declare it. And if there's no other legal target apart from what you're charging, what you're already fighting, then you will charge one of your own models.
Any legal non-pick target.
Yeah.
Charge
So unless you keep it near a bunch of pigs
or something with Pork and Whisperer.
A lot of that is the it's the Brewmaster, isn't it? The Whiskey Golem.
Yes,
is the Moon Shinobi in
this?
I
believe so.
Yeah,
they are.
So, and Brewmaster has long been considered really bum.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I've got the Brewmaster
Cool.
crew. I haven't tried it yet.
You've got a shitload of stuff that you haven't told us about.
Yeah, I've got crap loads.
You can tell someone's just recently got a new job.
And I've had a look through, and it'll be something I play with probably once as a laugh, but even with the reduced cost, they're not that interesting.
Yeah. Running Tab is a Brewmaster upgrade, so...
Yeah.
I was surprised at the mechanised pork chop going down.
Yeah.
because it's quite good.
Yeah. So I mean, they all seemed to me. They seem to be reasonably costed already.
Well, I think they were, but then you compare them to good models,
Yeah.
and
And they haven't had much in the way of new stuff coming out recently
Well,
compared to others. So
I also think, like, from Weird's point of view, if you've got the option of going, these are good, let's up the points, or those aren't as good, let's drop the points.
Yeah.
If you drop the points, people need to buy more things.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You could be horrifically cynical.
Yeah.
Well,
I
no,
think-
not necessarily cynical, but it also allows more models into games.
Yeah, I was going to say that's how I perceived it when I saw this. They're looking for more flexibility
Slightly
in
bigger,
lists.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
Well,
more
I have
interest.
a theory, which I may expound upon. Yeah. So my theory is like there's always an element of what we used to call in the Games Workshop days codex creep. So the new thing is better than the old thing because they want you to buy the new thing.
Yeah.
And also because the designers discover new design space, so there may not be a counter to something yet. New stuff is inherently a little bit of an unknown quantity, so you might not know how to deal with it. So it feels maybe better than it is until you've established how to deal
The
with
other
it.
thing as well is obviously they playtest these internally, so the newer something is, the more it's been playtested against everything that's already out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas the stuff that came out in Wave 1 hasn't been playtested against Wave 5, so might inherently suffer because of that.
That kind of process leads itself to perhaps new models. They go, oh, well, this feels like an 8-point model, but no one's going to play it. Let's make it a 7.
I have got
maybe.
And then you just bring the other ones down.
Yeah.
So you're balancing the whole pool of models against itself, and that's
Yeah.
really difficult.
Yes.
So we've had. When did the latest book come out? August, September time. You can get it at Gen Con, which is beginning of August.
Yeah.
So it's been out for 4 months. Yeah, it's a good time to
It's time to settle. Yeah.
But there's so many models in Malifaux now. We talk about the game
Yeah.
being very complicated and like starting to become a bit
Yeah.
clunky. Like the last Malifaux podcast, we talked about going to a tournament and facing stuff we'd never seen before, and being like, I don't know how any of this works because it's really hard to keep up with anything. So so it just feels like a good way of dealing with that creep is to go, okay, so these models are the wrong points. Some of them go up, some of them go down, and you kind of reshuffle.
That makes sense. I've got another little theory on that actually. Now you spoken about it.
Okay.
We will be talking about the new schemes and strategies
Next episode. I was going to do that at the beginning, but then we started talking about the app.
But the new schemes and strategies rely a lot on models surviving throughout
Yes.
the games. It's a lot more of a survival game now, rather than out activation like it was before. Rather than sort of very schemey stuff. It's generally, anyway, about surviving.
It's about your originally purchased model surviving because the
Yes.
summons don't count for a lot of it.
Yes. So having more cheaper models, like with Wild War and stuff, which can die very easily. So being able to have an extra one, so you can still do your thing if you wanted to, but still have one for schemes.
Yeah, and actually,
Maybe.
when we talk about Neverborn and Reses especially, when you adjust a model's soulstone cost, you're also adjusting how a master works or another model works, summoning it because you're changing target numbers, which becomes quite tricksy.
Also, as much as it's about surviving, you've also now got table quarters that's counted on soulstone costs. So
Yes.
have all of these things been slightly nerfed in that?
Yeah, they've been
Because
tweaked.
they cost less now,
So
so
you
they're
could-
worth less in that scenario.
Yeah.
Bert Jemison, Matavish and Francois
Oh, yeah,
all went
yeah.
up. Now, are they particularly good? I don't know Gremlins that well.
I don't know these guys very well.
Okay.
I will be honest. They're
The one I've seen the most rumbling about is McTavish.
Yes.
Because he's a mercenary.
yes.
So you can get him in different crews and import him
Jeez,
elsewhere.
Yeah.
So he's now costing more for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so McTavish is now 11 points or 12 if you want to hire him as a mercenary.
Which is hideously
Which
expensive.
I've heard people say I don't want to hire him now.
Okay, good. I mean, you should do something
That's-
different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's
Finding a
frustrating.
soulstone.
This
Yeah.
comes in later as well for other things that I've seen people go, I don't want to hire that now out of faction.
Well, I saw loads of people complaining, the combination of this and the new schemes and strategies, that Gremlins are done, don't want to talk to them anymore and everything else.
I've heard that in a lot of places.
Yeah, I've heard
So
quite a few
all of
places,
those
but-
people that have said that, Now we've just had the big tournament that
Where they-
Gremlins fucking won.
Yeah.
Can shut up.
Yeah.
Gremlins are still OP and need to die in the fire.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. I hate them. Get them out of my game.
Okay, so Guild, I get to talk now. It's the best bit of the podcast. So we have, so Guild had no one go up in cost. We lose a point for Guild Guard, a point for Captain Dashel, a point for Samuel Hopkins, the Judge, the Lone Marshal, the Guild Lawyer, the Witchling Handler all go down by 1 as well. The Pale Rider comes down 2. And I'll talk a little about the riders as a thing in more detail when we get to Outcasts. And Lead-Lined Coat, which gives you armour, has come down by 1 as well, so now only costs 1 because it used to cost 2 soulstones.
Well, I think about 3 days before this hit, when we were looking at crews, and you went, "What about this?" And I went, "It costs 2. It's shit."
Yeah.
And we both went, "If it costs 1, it'd be okay." And then ta-da! This is cheap now. Oh, okay, cool.
So that change has the Critical Twits seal
High
of
five
approval.
for predictions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seal of approval.
Fuck's sake.
So,
I'm gonna go start a new podcast with no puns.
the things that jumped out to me the most were Guild Guard.
Yeah.
Now costs 3 soulstones, not 4. 3 soulstone minions are now a thing.
Yeah.
Which
That
is
aren't
really
insignificant.
good. That aren't insignificant. Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
It's a free
So
soulstone
that's-
model that's not insignificant.
That's good peon costs normally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems really good. What really annoys me about this change is that Guild Guard are one of the few minions that come in a box of 2. Because now you want 3 of them, and they get better when they're near other Guild Guard.
Which also means there's 2 poses.
Yes. Yeah.
And with Dashel going down as well, you can make quite a Dashel, Lucius, and a fuckload of Guild Guard can be quite effective if you're happy to play Space Marines where they all look the same.
Yeah. So one of the problems that Guild often has is being out activated because it tends to have smaller, more elite crews.
Yeah.
So that's actually interesting. You can drop a Guild Guard or 2 in to bolster your activations.
Yeah.
And they're fairly useful. They're not terrible models. I might use my Through the Beak Breach box set things that I bought 3 years ago and see if I can make some Guild Guard looking models
Yeah.
to do that. Whereas before, I would never have used them and never put them on the table and forgot they existed and probably would have thrown them in a bin had I stumbled across them in my collection. So that's good. I'm intrigued. Captain Dashel can summon Guild Guard, I do believe. I may be talking out my backside. It's been a long time since I played with any Dashel, so that's good. I really like the boost to Sonya crews. The Witchling Handler now only costing 7. I took Witchling Handlers in the tournament because of it. See last podcast for results, but spoiler warning, it was really fucking good.
Can't cash for spoiler alert. Samael as well.
And
One of the reasons I said to him,
Samael,
take him because he's dropped down now.
Yeah.
He's 7 instead of 8, is he?
He's 8 instead of 9.
8 instead of 9.
Nine's.
He's brittle for 9.
He's brittle,
right.
yeah.
He's
Brittle's
right
the
at
word that came to my mind. And now he's okay for 8.
Yeah. He's good in the Sonya crew.
Yes.
You're not going to see him outside of the Sonya crew.
No. I would take him with Sonya now, and I did in the tournament. I used him once. He won me the game by running and dropping a ski marker. Which any model could have done. Never mind. The lawyers. I've got the lawyers. I've got Lucius. I'm tempted to give Lucius another go now. Because
Now his things are cheap.
now his things are cheap, yes. And I think Lucius has long been considered rubbish. He got a really big, proper errata, if you like, last time. And still didn't seem to gain much popularity. This may help him. Pro tip, use Witchling Thralls with him. They are amazing. So yes, that's the guild. This is tempting me to try Lucius again. To get my guild guard painted. Because they're cheap to drop into a faction where you don't really have that many cheap options. They were really the only 4 soulstone. The wastrels, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're better than Guild Guard. Whereas now I'd probably take 2 Guild Guard rather than 2 wastrels for 8, have 6, save a couple soul stones.
Yeah.
If I'm looking for that bulk. I mean, they are competing as well against dogs. So a guild guardsman now costs the same as a guild hound, I do believe.
In all fairness, based on the fluff, that seems accurate.
Do they seem to last just as long, have a similar lifespan. The Power Rider, as I said, I'll talk to when we get to Outcasts.
Yes.
But is definitely nowhere near as good as the mechanical rider.
Yeah,
that's the one.
but that is the rider that didn't get a reduction in cost.
Yes. So they all used to cost the same.
Yes.
Now they've got a variety of costs.
10 or 12.
Yeah.
With the mech rider not getting a reduction.
Yeah. And I'm quite happy with that.
I'm not.
So moving on to Neverborn then.
Yes.
I really like this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Baby Cade, Bad Juju, the Beckoner, Leilu, Spawn Mother, Tuco, Bunraku, and Vasilisa all cost -1 now, so they've all been reduced by a soulstone. And the Hooded Rider has also come down by 2, same as the Pale Rider. I'm really excited because I really like Baby Cade. You guys know I have a thing about teddies.
Yeah.
And Baby Cade works really well with teddies.
Yeah.
At 7 soulstones, he was too much.
Yeah.
At 6 soulstones, I'm tempted with him again.
Yeah.
He's brittle.
He's a good glass cannon.
He's a glass cannon. He's really, really good if you take 2 teddies, but then you've sunk 29 soulstones before. No, 28. 28's much better.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Infinite amount of difference that makes. It's a whole third of a guild guard.
Like a leg. Yeah. Bit of a torso that we found. So I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
I think you never saw him. I think at 6 he's worth a punt maybe.
Yeah.
He's too good to be 5.
Yeah, he is.
But he's nowhere near good enough for 7, so he's kind of sitting in the middle. Beckoners, I'm glad to see come down. Because they tend to just sort of sit in my deployment zone and move stuff about and don't actually add much to the game, but they are quite useful. So I'd normally take 1, maybe I take 2 now. Bad Juju is a model I really, really like, but again, I probably wouldn't have used much. And the last one that really interests me is Leilu. So Leilu and Nilitu are the 2 linked Nephilim.
Yeah.
Right.
They both costed. That's a weird way of saying that.
They were both costed at?
Yeah, I don't know. Them costed monies of 7, but now they used to cost 7. Now they cost 6.
No,
Leilu costs 6 because Leilu is nowhere near as good as Lilitu.
No, because you would see Lilitu on its own, but you wouldn't see Leilu without her.
No.
Now, am I right in saying Leilu is the one that can go haha and jump and pounce?
Leilu has pounce, but you take Leilu to give Lilitu pounce because Lilitu has lure
Yes.
and a 4-inch.
But now
reach.
you've got Beckoners that can lure,
yes,
that are cheaper, and Leilu that's cheaper. That could be a thing on its own.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need Lilitu. And Leilu becomes, not much, it's slightly easier to summon. You need a lower card if you're summoning with the Dreamer, because being nightmares, they can be summoned by the Dreamer. Cool. Tuco seems like a cool thematic model that, again, wasn't getting much play.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to talk again. So, the Outcasts.
Well, I'll join you in this as I can... I'm looking at going into Outcasts.
Yeah. This actually, the Outcasts is the one that affects me the most out of what I play regularly. So we have the Guilty, Tailor, Bishop, Desperate Mercenary, Frycore Specialist, and Hans, all coming down by 1. And then Johan, the Frycore Trapper, and Ashes and Dust go up by 1. And Scramble, an upgrade that allows you to move through terrain.
And gives you +1 walk, +1 charge.
Yes. Has come down by 1 as well, so is now 1 soulstone,
Yeah.
not 2. I mean, as an upgrade, that seems fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at Scramble because I've got Tara and gone, I can run her as Outcast.
Has it egged you on to try it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have considered it at 2.
No.
But I would consider it at 1. Stop it.
I love the fact you just carried on and
Yeah.
tried to ignore me. Cool. Yeah. Going with the things that have gone up, I've never used ashes and dust, but I have heard many a tale of it being an absolute pain in the backside. And so that kind of makes sense. It's almost unkillable. The Frycore Trapper is kind of like the minion that you always take in Outcasts. And you guys absolutely hate my Trapper because you can't pin it down, you can't stop it, and it does all sorts of horrible things. And Johan is a very, very good model for the Outcasts with the condition removal and similar that he can do. I keep wanting to say she because I use Johanna because it's a much nicer model.
Now, Johan is the model that I've had a lot of people going, oh, well, I'm not going to bother using it as a mercenary anymore.
Yes.
Good. Stop it.
Yeah.
Use your things in faction.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's I'm okay with that.
There is something in every faction that does similar.
If there's a mercenary you want to take in everything,
It's too good.
It's probably too good. You want a mercenary that fills this gap for this crew or this gap for that crew or can help you with this scheme in this particular circumstance. Not, it's so good everyone takes it. And I've seen a lot of Johan about.
Yeah.
Just Johanning about. Cool. So the stuff that's gone down, we were talking about 3 soulstone minions.
Yeah.
Desperate mercenaries. I love the Desperate Mercenary models.
They are very, very good.
And the rulebook has one of the Desperate Mercenaries on the front. It's like an iconic thing.
Yeah.
You ever seen it on the table?
No.
No, because it's fucking crap. It's rubbish. 4 soul stones for a model that really isn't
You have to be
very
desperate
good.
to take.
Was it
Hey!
was it Guildguard level?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably even worse. Seen even less.
Good dogs to compare it to.
So now Desperate Mercenary, it doesn't seem like a lot, 1 soulstone, but
It's a 25% reduction.
it's a 25% reduction. It frees up a soulstone for other things,
And
and
you
you can have 2 for 6. 2 for 6 sounds like a bargain. I mean, I could pretty much buy anything 2 for 6. I used Desperate Mercenaries the other day against Colin.
Yeah.
And they died. One of them died really horribly, and the other one did some stuff. What really excites me is the idea of getting 4 shots a turn. They're only at shoot 2, but from a little 3 soulstone model that goes bang 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 bang
It's
bang
another-
bang 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 bang.
But it is
all the
another model that is 3 soulstones and not insignificant.
Yes,
Which
it can.
is not an insignificant thing. That's
If it's on its own, it can hold a table quarter, and it doesn't matter that it only costs 3 soulstones.
Yeah.
It can drop scheme markers. It can
Take 'em away.
diddle other enemy models and give them conditions in certain things and all sorts.
if
So-
we're talking
That
table
sounds
quarters,
disgusting.
like he's desperate. But a 3 soulstone model now, when model costs matter for table quarters, can swing an entire quarter.
Yeah.
So if you're taking it for 3 where you wouldn't for 4, the difference between 3 and 4 might not have mattered, but just having the 3 there as an activation that's cheap is great. People were using
cheap activations.
People
are
were using
good.
Malifaux Raptors because they were cheap activations at 3, even though they're insignificant.
Yeah.
I'd take one of them for 3 if I had the points. The amount of times I'm going, I've not got enough for 4.
I'll add this upgrade on.
Yeah, but I'll take another activation for 3, especially if it's a significant one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So, cool, I can actually do some schemey bullshit.
yeah.
One thing I might take as a mercenary now, which I have done in the past, but that was when I had a lot less models and such like. All right, is the Frycore Specialist, who's come down by a point.
Is this just because you like saying Flammenwerfer?
I love saying Flammenwerfer.
It's the best word ever, to be honest.
I don't know what it is. I just love werfing Flammen. And he goes really nicely with Sonya.
Yeah.
I only bought the Von Schill box for the Specialist to go with Sonya, and then I used everything else in that box like way more than him because he's a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
I just think it's a cool model. And I like the fact he explodes when he dies. That's fun. I like
Bishop's
stuff that does
fairly
that.
good as well.
So Bishop, I thought I didn't have a problem with Bishop. I thought Bishop was a good model for his cost. He has 3 AP and
Now the thing is though, because how much was Bishop?
So he used to cost 10. Now he costs 9.
Okay, so he was a significant
Pricey.
right. So was he Joss levels of good at 10? Because I feel Joss is what you compare 10 soulstone models.
No, he's
to.
not as good as Joss.
So because it was good at the time, but now it's not so much. They've
Well,
rigged
and
out a
Joss
bit,
is
so-
Joss is book one. Joss has always
Yeah,
been
I
there.
don't know, but
Yeah.
Joss
So
has always been the best.
he needs to get a trigger to be Joss and ignore Armor Hard to
Yeah.
kill Corporeal and stuff like that.
So-
and his damage track isn't particularly as good.
What is his damage track?
2, 3, 4. But he gets 3 AP, gets to hit you loads.
Yeah, so he hits more than Joss
and
does,
if you fail to hit him with melee, he punches you back.
Yeah, okay.
And he gets to add a suit to all his things, so you can in theory just ignore all this stuff.
Yeah, so
he's a nice model. I like the fact that he has 3 AP and flurry.
he's a good beater.
And he's swift, so you can still give him fast as well. So you can get him up to 4 AP and flurry twice.
Oh. Oh. Okay, cool.
I now want to try and slot him
This
into Tara.
Yeah, people-
not sexually, just into her crew.
He's too swift.
She leaves disappointed.
There's all kinds of jokes you can make with extra holes, but
Yes.
that's unnecessary.
That would be heartless.
He has been recommended as a beater in Tara Cruz for Outcast, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I've saved my two of my favourite models for last.
Go
So
on.
Hans has changed loads because Hans got a 0 soulstone upgrade
Right.
when they became a thing a couple books ago.
Is this a 0 one that doesn't count towards upgrades because he just needed a boost?
It counts towards his upgrades,
It does count.
but it's
Okay.
him only, and it makes him good.
Yeah.
I
Well,
used him the other day, and I was shooting Seamus's upgrades off, and it was great.
because with the 0 soulstone upgrades that people were getting
Some of them
have
didn't
been
count.
which
They
is
were
basically
another way of-
another errata.
It's another way of errata.
Which
yeah.
I prefer to changing the cards.
I completely the opposite. I'd rather
Really?
the card change because everything's on the card. You don't have to have another card and remember to put it in.
But you need a
and
new
you've got less
card.
things, and you know what I'm like when I can't find my
Oh,
cards.
yeah, he gets very angry.
I do, and they're in front of me.
Normally, always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Apart from that time, the cat knocked them all on the table when I went to off the table when I went to the toilet, and I was like, "Where is everything?" And that's why she lives in the kitchen. So Hans now costs less points and has a free 0 soulstone upgrade.
Yeah.
I think maybe they found his level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe he's good. He can focus for free as well as a 0.
Nice.
And he can actually walk more than 3 a turn. He can now walk 4, so it's super quick.
God, those Rasputin levels are fast.
Yeah. One of the things I did notice with Hans is that he can see through markers that block line of sight. So I was playing against Colin and his Seamus crew, and he hid some models behind one of the markers for not show of force.
No, the display of authority. or
Display of
something.
authority. Yeah, you put down markers, and it's kind of like a capture the flag, stroke defend the flag
Yeah.
thing. It's a really fun thing. We'll talk about that in the next episode. And he hid loads of stuff behind it because it's height 5 blocking hardcover terrain. And then I just shot all his shit because you can see through it because it's a marker.
Ice pillars.
Ice
shooting
pillars.
through
Smoke clouds.
Yeah, that. Ooh. Ice pillars. Ice pillars.
And finally, Taylor. Taylor's one of those models that I always want to include in Outcast and don't because she costs too much. And now she costs slightly less. The problem with Taylor is that she doesn't really have anything that makes her more survivable. So you're right, and the Outcasts don't have a lot of upgrades to help with that. So she either tends to eat all your soul stones or just die.
Right.
Well, she's a
henchman,
She's a
so she gets two
Okay.
upgrades if you want.
Yeah.
She's more tempting now that she's cheaper.
Yeah.
And again, I've used her. I used her the other day, and I was like, she costs too much. Now I'm tempted to dig her back out, finish painting her, and actually use her again.
Nice.
So that's cool. So yeah, lots of stuff there that was kind of gathering dust in my collection, and now might
A few ashes in there as well.
Oh God, you're at it as well.
Well, I'm retaliating.
We're fact, mate. We're fact. Oh, I was going to talk about riders. Yeah, so riders. Now, the reason I've saved the riders for here is simply because I really, really want to buy all the riders and play Leviticus crew that turns the Hodgepodge Emissary into the other rider that you haven't paid for, which obviously totally is going to be the mechanical one because it costs more.
Yeah.
And then you have a whole rider crew, and now that costs a bit less money. Points, soulstones.
Well,
that's the one.
the Hodgepodge? How much is the Hodgepodge? 12.
10.
10. So it now costs 40
40,
points.
40 points to hire 3. So that gives you 10 points to mess around with, and you can have Alice.
You can have Alice.
And Hollow Waves, and are they free? Yeah, they're free.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But that's what, a 6-point reduction in that.
Have some abominations to go with it, maybe,
or just some more upgrades. Something
Bishop.
like
It just means they can appear, which they didn't really before because they were a bit too expensive.
Yeah, well, you
to
were spending 48. You were spending 46.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like cool. I can have one.
You've just
tiny
got you've got
support
upgrades.
model
You've got
or-
upgrades. That's it.
Whereas now being able to have 10 points.
Yeah, that's a 6-point shift for that crew.
Which wasn't ever designed to be super competitive.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But at least now has a chance to do some stuff. Cool.
Yeah,
That's
one of the
good.
things that's put me off is like it's not going to be that good. It's like actually, I've got some wiggle
can
room.
balance.
I can add
Yeah.
something in. I can take the librarian and just heal everything.
Yeah.
That's what you do with Outcast, right? Everyone else who plays Outcast always takes the librarian. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Maybe.
Books are good, kids. Read more.
Shh.
Resurrectionists, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, so for the Rezzers, we've got Haywarden, a Shikomi, the Student of Steel, Student of Sinew, and Student of Viscera that have all gone down a point. As mentioned, the Rider has gone down by 2. Nurses have gone up by 1. And there's been an actual change to a card. I know.
Plot twist.
Sinister Reputation, a Seamus upgrade, has gained a 1-inch melee in addition to the gun. So we'll get onto that a bit later. Of the models, the students needed it. I looked at them all and went, I really want that box because the Valedictorian's awesome, but the others are all a bit meh.
Yeah, so you might see a little bit of play with those.
Yeah, and they're also now easier to summon for Nicodem,
Yeah.
which is important. Shikomi, I don't know because I haven't seen them about too much. So
No.
again, they might turn up. Haywarden's one I've been looking at quite a lot, and I like him at his price cost now.
Yes. Haywarden's one of those models. I looked at Haywarden because I've dabbled with a little bit of Resurrectionist stuff. And I was like, that's really cool. He does lots of weird stuff.
Yeah.
But he's a bit fiddly. I think being cheaper makes him more of a, and I'll give him a go.
Yeah.
Rather
I've
than
genuinely
having to
considered
invest
putting
in
him
him.
in now.
Yeah. And it's just a cool idea as a model. Actually.
I really like the model.
Yeah.
As a Nephilim that's with the Rezzers and stuff, it's cool. Nurses going up, yeah, probably needed that.
Yep.
To be fair, they were in everything.
Yeah.
It upsets my Jackdaw crew. I didn't talk about the guilty. I like the fact they're cheaper now. I might actually take them. Cool, carry on.
Yeah. Seamus getting the melee is huge.
Yes.
Because it was one of his big things that he didn't have.
He has a backhand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has pimp-handed some of my models to death before.
Yes. Yeah.
genuinely.
No, don't get me wrong.
But like over the course of turns, just kind of pounding it, just fucking ages.
I think it gives him a big boost. It means he doesn't get tied down quite so easily.
But he needed tied down.
Yeah.
No.
And it lets him heal.
Yeah.
Which is like,
Yeah.
but it allows him to do his thing better.
Yes.
So I'm well up for that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. All the rest of the models that had range, but not really much in the way of melee, got something to make them actually be able to defend themselves.
Well, they were ranged models. Seamus is I get close to you and make things happen model.
Yeah. But he didn't get any.
But with a gun.
Yeah.
So
With
yeah.
a really good gun.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
He killed a desperate mercenary in a single shot on
I
low
for-
damage.
I forgot about
Poor guy.
the upgrade being discarded to reduce damage, and he headshot a bloody Oxfordian mage on moderate.
Oh yeah.
Just went bang. Don't care about your shield. You're dead now. It's sad. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I mean, Seamus has been considered lower tier kind of.
So I think this
not very good.
was a nice
Yeah.
boost for him that he
Yeah,
needed. The Dead Rider went down, which is it's cool. That will probably see a bit more play now because they were generally considered meh.
Yeah.
But a 2 cost is a nice chunk down.
Yes.
It puts it the same line as Emissary, which is
Yeah.
always good.
The nurse, as we said,
It needed it
yeah,
because they were everywhere.
They're really good.
They are really good.
They're really, really good.
There's just so many options with them. It's
And they can
ridiculous.
also get hired quite widely. They can go in Jackdaw Creek. Can they go anywhere else?
Not sure, but you
They're tormented.
you did see them in most places they could go.
Yes. Yeah, if you can have a nurse,
You generally took
have a
one.
nurse.
But
Have we actually really disagreed with anything
No.
so
No.
far? This
that's
is...
what I was just about to say. It's quite nice to not go, oh my god, like if they'd gone, oh, we're knocking Joss down 2 points. There would have been outroar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody to quit. This wouldn't be a podcast anymore. It's just given more flexibility to everybody so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's potentially a couple of models I'd have liked to see get knocked down a point as well that haven't, but that might just because we're not using them right or something.
Yeah.
But interestingly, again, continuing the whole idea of good reductions and changes in general, 10 Thunders.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, some of these were necessary.
Oh, yes. Right.
So just to recap a little bit on your experience of 10 Thunders, Aaron, we've talked a lot about, you've played Misaki almost exclusively for about a year
Yeah.
and a half?
Nearly two.
And you didn't seem to be enjoying yourself.
No, I was on the brink of quitting.
Yeah.
It's not getting that bad.
Because you had a very small elite crew that seemed to be made out of folded bits of paper.
Yes.
Topical, not racist. And didn't seem to do a lot for you, and you weren't particularly happy with it. So so what's changed in the 10 Thunders, and may you go back?
Well,
Hang on, isn't this just a list of things you used?
pretty much. The Toto, Yamizuku, the Fuhatsu, Dawn Serpent, the Thunder Archers, the Monks of the High River have all gone down by 1. And they were all overpriced.
Yes.
Massively. So we'll get into some of that in a minute. The Terracotta Warriors have gone up by 1. Now, I've never used them, but I have heard very good things about them.
Stupid good.
Yasunori's also gone up by 1. Again.
Probably could have got with 2, people still would have taken him. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, again. And we have our other rule change.
Yes.
Ooh, I was going to say, expecting a bit more sort of, yes, it's the second one. There's only 2. A little bit of, uproar for it.
Thunderous applause.
Yeah. So the Storm, which was an upgrade that was given
It was
last
one of the Wave 5 upgrades, one of
Yeah.
the new ones that came out.
just added an extra bit to her.
Well, it took her from to oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was when damaging any model, this model will place all resulting blast markers, which come from
her
medium and high on the
yeah.
attacks, anywhere in 12 inches of the model and within line of sight. And markers do not need to be touching each other.
Yeah.
That's now been cuddled down to a perfectly reasonable 8.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's perfectly reasonable, but equally Misaki is a pile of poo, so...
12 was dumb.
yeah, 12 was ridiculous, because that is like one side of the ball to the other.
Seems
People
okay.
really seem to have lost their shit about this lost 4 inches. I think it's a bit of an upgrade in a teacup. And Joe's trying not to sigh at me. And it's easier to avoid, isn't it? I mean, 12 inches is, if you're in the middle of the board, you're almost in their deployment.
Yeah.
So it's a huge area. You've got a 24-inch reach with it, with a blast.
Yeah. And when blasts ignore certain conditions
In fact,
and stuff.
the blast itself is 2 inches wide, and you can put it at like a millimetre in, so you've got kind of 26, 28 inch range. That's the board's only 36 inches long.
Yeah.
As long as you can see, that's quite grim.
It's still fucking powerful,
Oh yeah, still a good upgrade.
but it's just meant that people actually have a chance against avoiding it to some extent.
Yeah, it ignores things, it ignores cover and stuff like that. Yeah, blast damage, which is good. So yeah, if you've set up a tanky model, like if I run Joss forward and go, haha, he will stand here while my Oxfordia may just sit and cover and blast at you and shoot at you with the casts. Like you can now start hammering them for damage that's not going to get reduced and is mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely makes her very playable.
Yeah,
And
which
the 8 inches was necessary. The 12 was done.
Yes. Yeah. So she needed the upgrade. It didn't quite need to be that.
The upgrade is still a buff for her.
But
even though they had to dial it down a little bit.
So we're going to get onto the fun stuff now. The things I can actually play with and play with other things.
You actually sound
And multiple
excited,
things.
dude. Genuinely, like, you've got like a slight manic cackle to your voice.
Okay. So I use quite a lot the Toto. I really shouldn't, because he's quite wank.
But you didn't have other henchmen, did you?
No, not at the time. I was.
All I want to do every time someone says a Toto is start singing Africa.
Well, don't.
No.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Pens
So,
right
so a
Tape measure
Toto
next.
is now a reasonable cost for what he is because he's not that amazing.
No.
He's got some good bits. A Toto is very good at kind of staying alive for a while and smashing things to pieces.
Yeah.
To stop other things. He can paralyse things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be honest, my only real memory of a Toto ever achieving anything, and he didn't even achieve anything,
No.
was when Howard cut his head off. And it
Yeah,
made me
yeah.
happy. Like,
Yeah.
The only time a Toto has ever bothered me is when Teddy tried to pick him up and move him across the board, and you went, "He can't be pushed by enemy models." And I went,
Yeah.
"Okay, net him."
yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
I have a theory about Ten Thunders,
Yeah.
and you'll probably disagree. I think they're probably the hardest faction to balance, and that's why I think their stuff tends to be overpointed.
Okay.
Because most of their masters are dual faction. All their masters are dual
Yeah,
faction,
yeah.
apart
Right.
from Asami now.
Yeah.
And they can therefore be hired into lots of different things. You're trying to balance them with each other, but also you're trying to balance
Yeah.
the ones that can be hired into different factions by the masters with the other faction as well. So
They've got more models to
it can
consider
lead you to be
with them.
more models to consider with this. It might make them err on the side of caution and make them too expensive.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the
so
dual
it is,
faction
but-
masters tend to be able to
Yeah.
hire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
That maybe.
Yeah.
This is possibility.
Just trying to work out why you've always been frustrated by your 10 Thunders and your
Yeah.
lack of shiny
Well,
things.
I think it's the equivalent of going, well, I'm going to play Guild and I like the look of, what's Mr. Cripple's name?
Hoffman.
Hoffman. Fuck. And going, so I'm going to play Hoffman, I'm not really enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Or Lucius looks fun, but I'm not really enjoying myself. You pick someone that was rated quite low on the tier list
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Masters.
First time I lost a game of Malifaux was playing Lucius. I took it well. As regular followers of the podcast will know, I deal well with setbacks.
So,
Yeah. So with the Fahatsu has its uses.
yeah.
I love the model and
Yeah, the model is
idea.
amazing. Yeah. But cost-wise,
Yeah.
it was just ridiculous for what it was actually quite a bland model. The Thunder Archers were very good at one thing.
Yeah.
And in one circumstance, and
Yeah.
were way too expensive for what they
Yeah.
were. You needed a small crew of them, and if you were lucky, you could maybe afford two.
Yeah.
If you wanted options at all, because they cost 7, I think, before.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think, because they're a minion, aren't they?
yeah,
Do you know what they need? They need an upgrade like the mages, whereas if you buy 3 of them, you get them cheaper.
yeah,
That would have been good.
yeah.
Yeah. Or, like, 7 soulstone minions. Like, the thing that jumps to my mind is the Illuminated.
Yeah.
The Illuminated are really, really good models.
Yeah.
I think they're really good. Joe's pulling a face.
Yeah, well,
They're the kind of thing you hire into. You could any Neverborn
well,
crew.
this is it.
can
I've
have
seen
an
them pop up
Illuminated.
quite a lot, and I don't know if it's me just going, oh, they're meant to be good, so I just murder it fast.
Possibly, yeah.
Because I've never gone, oh my god, at them. Apart from one game where you used Lynch because you handed out Brilliance, and I was like, crap,
Yeah,
and then killed it really quickly because it was being
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I can't think of like other minions that are worth.
No.
No, and these don't do anything else. It's
They need
ridiculous.
a Thunder Archer Enforcer that
Yeah.
can take the upgrade and walk around with them.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Monks of the High River were really good at healing, taking status effects off.
But they don't.
But had fuck all else.
Yeah, but that's all they do.
Yeah, they could literally not. They can't defend themselves for anything. They can't cause anybody else any.
They seem to be one of those things that people either love them or hate them.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people go, oh my god, Monks of the High River, and then loads of other people going, oh my god, why would you take them?
Yeah.
So
By comparison, I've got the slop haulers in Gremlins.
yeah,
Who can make other models better by throwing, in a normal attack,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
throwing stuff and heal things, multiple things all at once. They can only heal one model for more reliable healing.
Yeah.
And have to be right next to them.
yeah.
They needed reducing their cost. They were 5 points.
Are
I
they
think.
4 now?
Yeah.
They seem quite good for 4.
Yeah. For 4, it's like, yeah, of course. Okay.
They seemed really niche at 5,
Yeah.
which I guess was the problem.
Dawn Serpent I never used because it just looked too expensive. for what it
I'm
was.
kind of excited by that.
Yeah.
I think. So that's now 9.
Yeah.
Now the reason I've been looking at it is because I always kind of went, oh, it could go Marcus. Because it's a beast.
Yeah.
And it gives poison.
Yeah.
And fire.
Yeah. It's a really nice model. It was just 10 again.
Yeah.
With the cost of the other models in the crew, made it very difficult to bring along, and I didn't really have the other stuff.
Defense 5 with only hard to kill as its real defensive tech.
Yeah, and that's pretty much 10 Thunders in a nutshell. It's like cool.
Thunders in a nutshell. A Toto power.
I hate you.
No, he's allowed that one. That was
He's
quite
not.
good.
No.
I've never really used Terracotta Warriors or the Yes and No's. I can't really comment
Terracotta
on that.
Warriors
I know on the...
are like things that people go mad for
Mm.
because of the cast a diddly thing, and then they get that model that they've cast on can discard a card.
Yes.
They put the damage onto the Terracotta Warrior. The Terracotta Warrior discards a card. There's no damage.
Yeah.
It's mean, it's horrible.
The way of managing all the glass cannony bits of everything else.
Yes, yeah, I think actually that might be what they were there to do. An absolute pain. I've played against them twice, and they're annoying, very annoying.
Less often now because they're more expensive.
Yeah, just a little tweak.
But yeah, that's maybe a little bit more excited for 10 Thunders because I can have a variety of models. I think is mostly the thing. It's Gremlins is like, oh, I've got all the stuff. 10 Thunders like I've got 4 things. Yay.
Yes.
I mean, it was easier to manage when I was starting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but I didn't have the options.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the overall theming I'm getting with this, as I already mentioned. It seems to be allowing crews to have flex, to play around a little bit more, to have more models when potentially you need to survive longer, that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
I quite like this Errata. It's been nice and simple.
Yep.
I can understand where they're coming from with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's allowed me to play with more things. That's never a bad thing.
Well, apart from where the wallet's concerned, but
I think it feels like it's refreshed Malifaux a little bit. There's models in my collection that I haven't touched for 2 years because they're not that good anymore, or they were never that good, but I just bought them because I didn't know any better, or there wasn't as much stuff out that I now want to dig out and start using. I've wanted to paint my Desperate Mercenaries for ages, but never bothered because I was like, I'll paint them and then they'll sit in a box.
Yeah.
Because now I'll paint them, I think they're awesome models, and I'll get to use them.
Yeah.
And there's other things in there that...
Even if it's just 3 points just to show off your painting on the table, it's almost worth it, that.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice model.
Yeah, they're really good. And
we're all just sat here looking at it going, just nice.
Yeah, and it's an iconic Malifaux model. It's on the fucking rule book, and it's nice that it's actually now a model that you can use in a game without wanting to die.
Yeah.
So that's good. So what do we think's the best change, or the biggest change, or the most surprising change? Is there anything that sort of jumps out at you now we sort of discussed it all?
I was surprised the Riders going down by 2.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. That wasn't something I expected.
Yeah.
Now I know, although maybe we should have, because the mech one was the only one considered worth it.
Yeah.
But I expected maybe a 1 drop, not a 2 drop.
Yeah, because that's quite a big drop.
The other 2 drop is Kojo,
who needed it.
That is huge. I think he's a bargain for 6.
Yes, he is.
Would you take him for 7, Joe, as our arcanist?
As an arcanist, maybe. As an arcanist, no.
Yeah. As an arsonist.
He... Now, do you know why I think they dropped him 2? Because he's rare 1, he's named.
So you can only have one.
You can only have one.
So you can't just have 5
5
Kojos for 25 or 30. I can't even maths.
I'd take 5 Kojos for 30.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take 5 Kojos for 35. So if he was rare 2, rare 3, whatever, I would think he'd go down to 7.
Yeah.
But because he's a one-off, 7 points, what's he competing at 7 points? He becomes more than an ice dancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He becomes... And I think that really pushes... Because I think that's pretty much what he's competing with, in my mind.
Yeah.
Ice dancers. Yeah, they're so good. I think because he's rare 1, I think that it's perfectly acceptable to have him down at 6. I think it's a good change. Because he will see play in my Marcus Cruise now. Whereas I was looking at it before going...
Yeah.
What else has changed that was good? The Riders, that Yasunori was definitely... I'm so happy that changed. I've not even fought the bugger, and I'm happy it changed because he was just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I still think he was in every 10 Thunders crew at the tournament we went to, even with the increase. So that was definitely necessary.
Okay, so I was playing 10 Thunders like a wanker.
Cool. I don't think Yasunori came out as you kind of were losing interest. But I think it's one of those models, if you'd have picked that up and put it instead of a Toto, you'd have just been like, oh, this is really fun again. Because he's just dumb.
Yeah. Aaron, is there anything that jumps out at you? Joe and I are united in our monkey loving.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. It was the only one I went, ooh. Everything else kind of, especially as we go through, it makes sense now and needed to happen. It's not majorly surprising, just expected.
Yeah.
Needed.
And again, I'm so happy at the Seamus upgrade. That's made me happy. Yeah. I think that was a very good change. I don't think there were any bad changes.
No.
Were there any models any of us thought should have been reduced but weren't? Obviously,
everything in 10 Thunders.
Oxfordian mages needed another point drop.
I genuinely, I don't understand how they're as cheap as they are. They are so good, and they upset me.
They need to. They're the ones who get cheaper if you buy a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yes, they get more expensive the more of them you have. That'd solve all the problems.
Yeah, I think you should be able to hire them cheaper for 3, but they should have made them rare 2. So you can't have 3.
I might buy another box and run 6. I don't know. Part of me feels Howard might have dropped to 11.
It is expensive.
He's very good, but you
used him a lot to start with, but as
you have options,
as your collection expanded, you've not used
12,
him in
12's
a year.
Big sink. Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think if there's other models that are like that.
But then is that just because I'm not playing Ramos?
I'd quite like Montresor to come down because he still feels a little bit too pricey, even with his 0 upgrade. I was talking about how much I love him in a couple podcasts ago. But there's other things to take with Jack. You'd never take him outside of a Jackdaw crew ever.
Yeah.
And that seems to be their kind of target thing. Like, you would have never taken Kojo now. Now Kojo is priced that he might see play outside.
Yeah.
Crossroads 7, did they need to drop at all?
They all cost 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which
some of them are worth 8 and some of them are worth about 5.
Yeah. We played the game. Well, I tried out my Grammys for a second time. We played the Crossroads 7 as sort of a laugh, and I got the general feeling there needed to be some room for upgrades for some of them to have some flexibility.
So do they need some 0 upgrades rather than anything else?
That might help.
Yeah. It's more having sort of enough points left over to have choice.
The problem with that is that if you're playing the Crossroads 7 as a crew, I don't think they're particularly good.
You start giving them things and then the good ones...
But they all sit in a different faction and they do different things, and they're a nightmare to balance in that kind of that 10 Thunders-esque way of models that exist elsewhere.
No, you do what they did for the mages and say, if you are using this as part of a crew led by Wrath, then you can have this upgrade. Yeah. And you just say, so basically you go, if you're playing the Crossroads 7, have some stuff.
And you don't even necessarily need to give each one a thing.
No, just
there's
maybe
some like Lust is proper sexy. Yeah.
But some of them are a bit bum, so being able to push those ones up a little bit would be great.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much play the Crossroads 7 are getting in order to make them want to make that change and there to be a movement.
But if you made it's an entire box that people you either buy it for Lust.
It's such a cool box and a cool story and a cool idea.
It is.
And they've even got a book named after them.
Yeah.
And yet you don't really see them.
No.
So
I don't know. I suppose it depends.
I secretly think they might be the best crew in the game, but no one ever remembers all of the many overlapping auras of doom.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was a big thing we had, wasn't it? It was like, oh, you've done this, and this. About 2 turns later,
I was seeing circles everywhere on the board for months.
I mean, I'm
you
still
just need
some
hula hoops essentially to put like the big hula hoops.
Yeah, some wire bits. Boom, there's his aura.
Still kind of convinced that they might be a thing I need to play.
Yeah, you can have a go at mine and see what
you
like.
Yeah, I really want to, and then my brain goes, well, they're all musicians. I want a nightmare box where they're not.
What would they be?
I don't know, but not that.
7. They should. What else is there set? They could do an opposite version where they're all named after the saintly virtues, not the deadly
Yes,
sins.
that would be cool.
And they could all be charity workers of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, like something would be interesting. But to be honest, just make them look like horrible versions of each sin, and not have them all with instruments.
Yes,
would be okay.
Like some kind of demonic version of themselves.
Yeah,
Nephilic.
But I suppose the problem there is then it just looks like an Everborn crew.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you need to make them look faction. Well, no, you don't. If you're releasing a Nightmare box, you do what the hell you want with it.
Yeah.
So make them look cooler, please, and then I'll buy that.
Yeah. Cool. So
Errata the style of model, not the actual model rules. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Just make them prettier, please. Weird.
So we've been the Critical Twits. If you have enjoyed this, then please feel free to subscribe or even share what we've done, or leave a like so that we feel vindicated in our life choices. Yeah. We also ask very, very nicely that if you really like what we do, please come and visit our YouTube channel, which is The Critical Twits, because YouTube are taking away all of our money, and we might not be able to carry on for too much longer. We need to hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We've got a little bit of a way to go for that. So if you do like what we do, please come and visit our YouTube channel. If you don't like what we do and you've managed to get this far, cool. Top beans to you. Please leave a hate-filled comment below, and we will respond within 4 to 6 working days.
Yep. We work 1 day a week.
Yes.
If they're lucky.
Some weeks. Tuesdays. That's when we work. But only half days.
Yeah.
In the evening. So not even days. If you agree, disagree.
Yeah. Leave comments. Send us messages. Or if you just think that we're doing something wrong and going, you obviously hate this or like this because of this, and that's done because. If you don't want to put it on YouTube, send us a message on Facebook.
Yeah, we've got a Facebook channel, we do Twitter, and we have criticaltwits@gmail.com.
We do.
If it's to say I'm playing 10 Thunders wrong, I know, it's fine, don't worry. Please tell me how to do it better.
Yes, and if you have any puns that I can ruin these guys' days with, then send those as well. Stay tuned. Our next podcast, which we're about to record in 5 minutes' time, once I've let the cat out of the kitchen and had a drink, will be all about Gaining Grounds 2018. So, again, stay tuned. And thank you very much. I've been Brian Ennis.
I've been Joe Lewin.
You cock. And I've been Aaron Ravinsky.
And we'll catch you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Ice pillars. Ice pillars.
Oh, shit. I mean, I love my pussy. Oh, you're going to put that in at the end, aren't you? Shit.